Okay, guys, today we are not separating pyramids and cones like we have in the past because you guys know, excuse me, the variables. I feel like you're a little more comfortable at this point, hopefully, with how you use everything. So we're going to cover a little bit more material today. It's still not a ton, but I don't think we need to be separated here. So we are going to start with volume of a pyramid. And the formula for today is the same for pyramid and cone. But again, cones have circle bases, so it's going to be a little bit different for that. The most important thing that I can tell you today is this. 1/3 is not 0.33333. Now, if you could keep those threes going, great. But do not use 0.3, do not use 0.33. Type it into your calculator, 1 divided by 3, or use the fraction key, 1/3. Do not use a decimal because it does not get it right when you try to use a decimal. 1/3 is an exact answer, 0.33 is not exact, okay? So let's do this. Find the volume of the square pyramid. So volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Sorry, that was super messy. So the area of our base, okay? Our base is a square. It told us it's a square pyramid. So 11 by 11 means our base would be 11 times 11, or you could say 11 squared. And then the height is always the one that's perpendicular. Struggling right now, guys. Man. Okay. Perpendicular would be the 6. So you're going 1/3 times 11 times 11 times 6. Plug that into your calculator exactly how you see it. Make sure this is 1/3, not 0.3. And when you plug that in, you get 242. And this is still volume, so we're cubing our units. And it looks like that. Okay, that's the volume of a square pyramid. Okay, this one is a little bit different now. We know we need volume to be 1/3 times the area of the base times the height, but we don't have our height, okay? But they do tell us the length of a side here and the length of a side here. So our B is going to be 40 squared, or 40 times 40. You may write it either way. We know we have the 1/3 out in front. Sometimes they'll give you this 20, other times they won't, but you always know it. Because if this is 40, this piece has to be half of that, right? So you're looking at a right triangle here. So h squared plus 20 squared would have to equal 25 squared. And then you can solve for h. And when you simplify that and solve for h, you get 15. So your height is 15. And you're going to plug that in right here. And again, now you can just plug it into your calculator. 1 divided by 3 times 40 squared times 15. And you should be getting 8,000. I didn't give you units. We'll say these are, well, we'll just do it the way I do it when we don't give you units. If you're not given units, you can just write it UN cubed. Okay, so that will be your volume. Pythagorean theorem to find your missing height, and then 1/3 BH. Okay, second part is volume of a cone. And notice, same formula, or because it's a circle, you can think of it like this. 1/3, area of the base is pi r squared. Okay, so this is your capital B, and then this is your H. I'm going to give you this one on the formula sheet for the test, but if you like to think of it that way, that's fine. That's up to you. Okay? Okay, so this question, how many cubic centimeters of water does this cup hold? What you're doing with this is you're finding the volume. When it asks you how much water, it's the volume of water it can hold. So 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. Now, if you look at this problem, we don't know our height yet, but this would be a right angle, and that means we have a right triangle where we know 2 of the sides. So you're going to plug this in. 4 squared plus h squared equals 11 squared. So if you take away 4 squared, you get h squared equals 105. And then you square root that, and your h is about 10.247, we'll say. Okay. We're going to round to the nearest tenth on this one. So take it a few further for your problem until, actually we'll round to the nearest whole number. We'll round to the nearest whole number. Okay, so in this setup, you're going 1/3. The area of the base, your base, remember b is pi r squared. So you're going to do pi times 4 is your radius squared. So pi times 4 squared is b. And then the height is what we found already. That's 10.247. Okay, and now here's the deal. There's no point in leaving pi in a problem that already has rounded numbers going on. So you can just plug this in, literally plug in every piece of it. 1/2 times pi times 4 squared times 10.247. If you plug all that in, 1/2, my bad, 1/3. Don't do 1/2. 1/3 times pi times 4 squared times 10.247, you would get 172, and this is an approximation, I'm rounding, about 172 cubic centimeters. Okay. All right, last one. This one we're going to do 2 ways. We're going to do in terms of pi and to the nearest tenth, just so you can see a comparison of what those look like. So it's a cone. Volume equals 1/3 times the area of the base times the height. So we're going to plug in for b, pi r squared. Right, that's the area of the circle. So this is going to be volume equals 1/3 times pi, what's your radius? If your diameter is 16, then your radius is going to be half of that, so 8. And then we're going to multiply that by the height of the figure. And the height here, notice this is perpendicular. It's an oblique, but it is perpendicular. So this is the height, which is 15. Okay, so this would be your setup. What you do with that is you plug in 1/3 times 8 squared times 15, and you get a volume of 320, and then you can attach the pi, and it's cubic inches. So as an exact answer, that is it. If you want to round, which they want you to give both on this problem, nearest tenth, you would plug in 320 times pi. Oh, I wrote nearest tenth, and I don't have that in front of me. We'll do nearest cubic inch. Sorry, because I don't have my calculator right now. This comes out to 1,005 cubic inches. Okay, and that is it. Are you loving these short lessons? It's so quick when there's not people around, right? I hope you're fast forwarding and slowing down as much as you need to with this. Pause me if I'm going too fast for you. But that is it for this week.